Hello everybody, can you hear me? Well, so today we are going to be working on Python. If you don't know what Python is, it's a programming language. It's really easy to learn. If you want to try out our group classes, contact us at pythonclasses.kids@gmail.com. Just type out what your name and like where you live, because I think we do the classes at Glen Waverley or Mount Waverley, around there. We haven't confirmed that yet, so if you would like to do it, contact us at pythonclasses.kids@gmail.com. So now I'll be showing you some really cool stuff you can do with Python. So firstly, I'll be showing you how to print things. That was just an error. So you have to talk to it in a different way, not in English or any other language. So you have to, if you wanted to print something, you go print hello and it goes hello viewers. Now so that's how you print. You can print anything as long as it's in the talking marks. If it's not in the talking marks, it has to be a variable you've named. A variable is something that you can they can change along the way. That can change in your code. So I'll just be showing you how to name a variable. So I'm just going to type out points equals, and you put, for example, 98, and you press enter, and you do print points, and then it prints the value of those points. But if you try and print something that's actually not there, for example, print score, just print that, it'll just give you an error message and it won't work. So if you don't make games using this type, so if you have these three arrows, you don't make games using that. If you want to make games or anything like that, I'll just show you that later. And now I'll be talking through how to ask for input and output. So output is what the computer gives to you, what you can see in the computer, and input is what you give to the computer, like words. When you type up, you're giving output, and by showing you the words, the computer's giving a output, and when you type it in, you're giving an input to the computer. So now I'll just be showing you how to ask for input. So if you want to store the input, you just go you name a variable, you go person equals input, and now what will happen is you go, what is your name? And so what it will ask for, it's gonna ask us what is your name, and when you give it in, it stores it in this variable called person. So I'm gonna type up my name, Rihan. I type that up. It's stored it now in person. So now what you can do with that is, after you ask for that, you can go print, and you can say hello, and then you put a space, comma, person. So it's gonna go hello Rihan. So that's a really cool thing you can do for starters if you're just starting Python, and that's one of the things you can do. That's asking for an input. Now I'll just be talking through the error messages. If you're in this, it's called shell. With these 3 arrows, it's called shell. If you type up anything wrong, it'll just go trace back most recent, cool, last, or some in like red letters. And sometimes there are some errors that happen, and it sometimes can't notice it. And also another thing you can do in shell is if you type up a number and just repeat it for you when you press enter, you go 87, it's just gonna go 87. And so one last thing before we move on to opening a proper file to make a game and saving it is you can do it's like a calculator. It's really smart. So you go 65 plus 25 is 90, and we'll press enter and it calls you 90. Now, oh yeah, I forgot one more thing. I'll show you that when I open the new file. I'll go new file, and now you have a blank space here. And the thing with this is that if you have an error, first you just want to go hashtag. So why you put the hashtag is so it's just there as a comment. So when people read your code, they will understand all the pieces everything you've done. So now I'm just gonna go and save this file in my folder for Python. Also, when you name files, make sure you don't name it anything like turtle, because turtle, make sure you don't name it anything like print or input or anything like that, or else it'll give you error messages and it'll go all wrong when you do it. So now they've saved it as tutorial.py. So it's not like a Word file, it's a Python file. I'll be showing you how to I'll be talking through some another type of error messages. So you go it just has no idea what that means. So if you go run module, and so it's gonna run it for us right now. It's gonna say like this. It is different if you look at it. But now, so when you go to run, it goes into shell, but then prints everything you put in the new file. That it prints everything you put in. Open file, and I'm just getting into the file right now. I have many practice code. I'll show you some later. And another one is if you go print, or let's go print. Let's just go print. Wait, if you just type up print red, because you don't need this thing here, you're supposed to just put it in that, but I'm just showing you one of the error messages. Go run module. I don't know if this will work or not. Let's check it out. So this will go syntax error, invalid syntax. So what syntax error means is there's nothing wrong with the letters or spelling or anything, just that how you've written it is wrong. And now I can just get and that's what I have for you today, pretty much. So just before we finish off, I'll just be showing you some really cool things you can do that I'll walk through later with you in Python. So I'm just gonna go file, open the file, and when I open this file, I'm gonna first show you Animal Quiz. So this is a quiz I built for so how I'm just gonna go through how it works. So how it works is there's a function here. I'll talk about functions maybe in the next tutorial that I do, or next video. So now this is what this is gonna do is, so it's a quiz about books. I named it animal quiz, I don't know why. So this is a quiz about books, and what it's gonna do is like so it's gonna ask you some questions. If you get it right, it says it's wrong, and if you get it wrong more than 3 times, I think it tells you the answer and you get out of the thing. So if you just look through the code, you can see this thing I have put here: goon equals input word and try again to beat your score, press enter. Why I put that is, normally if you do this, if they run out of attempts, you'll just print this and get off. It'll print this and get off so fast that no one can actually see it. Just looks like you're just getting off. So then it'll just run this code, and it'll wait for an input there. So I'm gonna go run module, and this is the author's quiz, author's books and reader quiz. Who created Tintin? I don't know how to do this. Hudge. Sorry, you got that. So I'll go and I think I might try and copy that down. I'll try it out. Control C, Control V. Correct. Who created Harry Potter? You go J.K. Rowling. So another thing is that when you go through it, if you don't put capital letters for this, it doesn't matter. So there's a code I'll show you later as well, that it ignores if it's not capital when the answer is, or if it's capital when the answer is not. It ignores that and just runs the code. It ignores all of that. So what series 13 books should Lemony Snicket prize? I'm gonna go ahead and get that wrong. And so I've done 3 attempts and it goes to the next one. Treehouse series. Let's go true. And it goes, your score is too well done, try again to beat your score, press enter. And if you press enter here, then it closes. So normally when you run it, you can run it from the file itself. So you just double click it, it'll go on, run it, and normally like it will just go off after this. But this time it's just showing the arrows because we're in shell. Okay. No, that's pretty much what I have for you today. I might show you another one quickly before I leave. So I'm just going to desktop my file, Python practice code, and I'll show you another thing. We'll get to that later. It's called Password Picker 2012. And I'll just open that. This is it's a really simple program I've written. So what it does is just picks a random password for you. So I'll just go through how it works. Import random. There's something called modules. You might learn about that later. So okay. And a string is like some words. Sometimes stored in a variable. So what this does is it randomly chooses one of this which is called a list from one of these words, and then a number from 0 to 209, and there's also another, like there's a code written in there called punctuation, and it'll choose a punctuation mark for you. And here what it does, it strings the words and numbers and symbols you got together to make it your final password. I'm just gonna run that and show you how it works. Go, welcome to your password picker, and your password is lolgirl186 _. So that's how it works. It's really quick.